I've been so psyched about sharing this absolutely top-notch drugstore product with you that I have felt a little like a kid bouncing off walls with excitement. I'll also share 8 other drugstore products I'm thrilled about that are great runners-up. But before we launch into today's topic, I want to extend a very warm welcome to any of you who are new here and a heartfelt welcome back to those of you who have tuned back in today. Thank you. My name is Elise, and I'm an over 70 makeup artist who's passionate about helping those of us over 50 look and feel both confident and fabulous. So on this channel, you'll find makeup tips, techniques, and products that are especially relevant for us now, along with occasional forays into the worlds of fashion and wellness. So now, hang on to your hat and let's get this show on the road. This product is from a new drugstore makeup brand called Versed, and I highlighted many of the Versed products in an early March video, but at that time, I didn't have this particular brow product. It's the Easy Brow Tinted Brow Gel from Versed, which creates a fluffy brow in just a few swipes, and it does not leave a heavy, crunchy feel. It contains biotin and manoi oil, which help nourish and condition brows. It is important to first remove any excess product along the opening of the tube. Then simply brush through the brows with short upward strokes. To achieve the most natural look, it's helpful to begin brushing the product at the center arch of the brow and then work your way to the tail before returning to the front of the brow. That's because we have the most product on the brush for the first swipe, and we don't want the front of our brows to look too heavy. Now, as you can see, it's certainly not as precise as the other brow where I used my stencil and my eyebrow pencil, but it does fill them in beautifully. The next runner-up is a mascara. Well, actually, the next 2 runners-up are mascaras. Normally, I cannot use drugstore mascaras because there's some ingredient in them that really irritates my very sensitive eyes. I talked about how much I love the Versed drugstore mascara in that earlier video that I mentioned, and I still do love it. And I can most likely wear the Versed mascara without a problem because it's a clean beauty brand. But I have now found another drugstore mascara that I'm absolutely astounded that I can wear without any issues whatsoever. It's the Essence Lash Princess False Lash Effect Mascara, and it is outstanding. It's likely that this Essence mascara doesn't bother my eyes because the parent company of both Essence and Catrice is Cosnova Beauty, which is a European company. European brands are required to adhere to the EU cosmetics regulations, which ban far more products than US regulations. In fact, it's the most comprehensive set of laws for the cosmetic industry in the entire world. This Essence mascara is a standout because it creates length, curl, and volume, and does a great job of defining and separating lashes without creating clumps or flaking or fading. And if you can believe it, it only costs $4.99. I'll apply the Versed mascara on the left side and the Lash Paradise mascara on the right side so we can compare them. First, I need to do some lash curling. And by now, if you've watched some of my videos, you probably know my technique is a little bit different. I raise my arm to get more curl, and then I stair step up the lashes. Now lately I've had more trouble curling my left eyelashes, and I don't know if that's because my left eye has sunken further back into my skull or what's going on. But it is interesting, all the different things that can change. This is what the Versed wand looks like. Okay, so I'm just going to wiggle it up through my lashes. And this is the black shade, by the way. It does also come in brown, which is really nice. Not very many mascaras come in both black and brown. So as you can see, this does a great job of really lengthening more than volumizing, and it does not clump at all. I'm going to wait just a moment and then I'll put a second application on. Mascaras are one of the most interesting categories of makeup because often they do better after you've used them a few times. So it's best not to make any judgments initially until you've really had a chance to try them out a few times. Okay, the Versed mascara on. Let's try Lash Princess from Essence. And there's several different Essence Lash Paradise mascaras. This is the one that's a false eyelash effect. And here's what this wand looks like. Okay, I'm gonna wiggle this up. I think I am definitely getting a little bit more volume with this mascara. Let's wait just a moment to let these lashes dry and I'll apply a second coat. My first impression is that these lashes where I applied the Verse mascara look a little bit more natural, might be a daytime look, whereas these lashes do look a little bit thicker and longer. But I am really impressed with both of these mascaras. Runner-up number 4 is a surprisingly good face primer, which is also from Versed. I didn't have it to try in my earlier Versed video, but I've since tried it and it does an excellent job of adding a subtle radiance that helps blur fine lines and pores, and it is so lightweight that you feel like you have absolutely nothing on your skin. Face primer helps our makeup go on smoother and easier and last longer. And it's important to apply it after skincare and before makeup, and to also let it fully dry before applying any makeup on top of it. Unfortunately, I do have one major complaint about this product, and it's the applicator. The product has a mousse-like texture, and I could not, for the life of me, get it to pump out of the tube when I first tried it. I had to take the top off in order to get to the product. Well, hopefully they'll resolve this packaging issue at some point, but the product itself is really top rate. I'm going to give the pump a second try today, and if that doesn't work, I'll just go ahead and take the top off like I did earlier. And I'm going to shake it real well this time. Maybe that will make a difference. No luck whatsoever. Okay, top's coming off. And just dot a little bit on. If this weren't such a good product, I frankly don't think I would fool with it. I get a little too impatient, but this really does a nice job and it feels so good on the skin. For face coverage today, I'll use the Multi-Serum Skin Tint from Versed, which has a 40 SPF. In my earlier Versed video, I didn't have the right shade, but today I have 2 shades that work pretty well for me when I mix them together. The shades are 1C, which is Fair Cool, and 7C, which is Medium Cool. As you see, I'm going to mix just a tiny bit of the darker color with the lighter version, and I end up with quite a good close match. This probably still looks too light, but once I blend it in, I think you'll see that it'll work pretty well. Now, interestingly, with this foundation, I have found that it seems to be a little bit harder to clean my brush afterwards, and I'm pretty sure that's because of the SPF in it. But I certainly don't mind because that SPF is such an important ingredient. And to have a 40 SPF in a skin tint is pretty amazing. What surprised me the most about this skin tint, and surprised me in a positive way, thank goodness, is that even though it's a skin tint which normally gives light coverage, this skin tint definitely gives medium coverage. And I do love the fact that it has an SPF of 40. For under eye corrector, I'll add e.l.f.'s Light Peach Concealer, and then I'll apply my new Versed Concealer in the lightest shade 1C over it. This Versed concealer is also a runner-up that I'm really enjoying. Like the Versed Multi-Serum Skin Tint that I just used, it also comes in 14 shades. This concealer is especially nice for mature skin since it's lightweight but hydrating and provides good medium coverage. The description of the product also says that it self-sets and gives a gentle blurring effect with no creasing, so it's not necessary to set it with powder. However, since I have so much going on in the way of lines under my eyes, I always apply just a small amount of powder to help prevent creasing. Now, this is the e.l.f. Light Peach, and I am fast running out of this. I need to run over to my nearest Ulta and get some more. The problem with running over to my nearest Ulta in person is that it's like letting loose a little kid in a candy shop, because I always end up buying something which I did not intend in the least to buy when I walked in the door. For some reason, it's easier for me to avoid buying extra products if I just go online and purchase them. But now when I use the concealer on my face and not under my eyes, I combine those 2 colors, but just under my eyes, I'm going with the lighter color. This definitely is very creamy. Maybe what I'll do is put powder under one eye and not under the other, and we'll see how well the concealer does without powder for creasing. So first, let me make sure there is no creasing going on, and then I'll tap some of my Maybelline banana powder under this eye. And now hopefully I won't forget to check back in about the creasing. With this next runner-up product, I'm going to fudge just a little bit. It came out in late 2024 rather than 2025, but since it came out in late 2024, I'm going to go ahead and include it, especially since it's another great dupe from e.l.f. It's their Camo Liquid Bronzer and Contour. This product is so lightweight and so easy to blend, and it really adds some gorgeous definition. It comes in 10 shades, and it truly has some really excellent cool tones, neutral tones, and warm colors, so you can choose to use it as a bronzer with the warm colors or as a contour with the cooler colors. I frankly don't know how e.l.f. keeps managing to create such super products at such affordable prices. This product is just $7. I have the shade Light. And before we apply it, so I don't forget, let's check back on the under eye creasing with the concealer. This is the eye where I applied powder. Let's take a good close-up look. And this is the eye where I did not apply powder. And unfortunately, I think you can see that there's some creasing going on. So just here and here. And I always like to blend it upward. And as you can see, this is so sheer and it blends so easily. It's pretty much mistake-proof, and that is especially important with contour because the last thing we want to see is any indication of just swipes down the side of our face. And some along here, which really helps give more definition to the jawline area where things tend to change a little bit over time. And then I always like to take my foundation brush and just go back over things. As you can see, that makes a really big difference because it eliminates any harsh edges. And again, around the edges with my foundation brush. One of the things I especially love about this particular product is that it looks so natural because of how sheer it is. Before we focus on what I feel is the very best drugstore makeup product so far in 2025, I hope you'll take just a moment to give this video a thumbs up if you're enjoying it or if you're finding it helpful. And if you haven't already done so, please subscribe before you leave today. We would absolutely love to have you with us as part of the family here. Now, drum roll please, we come to what I feel is hands down the best makeup product so far in 2025. And it's from a brand that I never would have guessed would come up with a product like this. It's Morphe's Cheek Thrills Multi-Finish Face Trio. And that's because this Morphe product is not only a trio of products rather than a duo, but it also has two cream products, a satin product and a luminous balm, as well as a powder product. Morphe's trio costs $19 and has a good initial shade range of 7 different colors. It is a little pricier than many other drugstore products, but it also gives us more product and more finishes. And I also appreciate what they've done with the packaging because just like Patrick Ta's duos, there's a plastic cover over the satin and balm products which prevents powder from migrating into them. And there are so many ways this product can be used. Each of the 3 products can certainly be applied separately. Here's the powder by itself. And here's the balm by itself. Or you can apply the satin cream over the powder to add additional glow and color depth. Another option is to tap the luminous balm onto the cheeks before applying blush or bronzer for a glow from within effect. So I already have applied the balm here, and I'll apply some of the satin cream over it. And here's the satin cream over the balm. I frankly think this is my favorite way to wear it, but I love having so many different options. Or you could simply use the luminous balm as a highlighting topper, which I'll do over the powder. This is the balm over the powder. And if you prefer more of a matte look, you can apply the powder over the satin cream. You can certainly mix and match for custom color, effects, and finishes, so the versatility of this product is truly amazing. And to have all of these products together in one package is really genius. There's one last runner-up I also want to mention, and that's a product that I did talk about and apply in the Versed video I did earlier. It's the highlighter from Versed, which comes in 3 different shades. There's a warm copper called Simmer, a cool rose gold called Polished, and a silver champagne called Baroque, which I have. This product is very similar to the high-end highlighters from Merit, which makes perfect sense since Merit and Versed are owned by the same company. Well, what I love about this highlighter and Merit's highlighter is that both create a dewy glow due to the inclusion in the ingredients of superfine pearl. So there's absolutely no glitter or shimmer, just a lit from within glow that's very natural and flattering. The Versed illuminator is $14.99 and the Merit highlighter is $32. I'm going to apply the Merit product on one side and the Versed product on the other side. This is the Merit product in the shade Bounce. There's already so much glow over here. I don't know if this is really going to show up as it normally would, but that's the Merit product, and this is the Versed product, which is going to show up a little bit more because I'm applying it over powder. Here's the Versed, and here's the Merit. There is a difference in color between these two products, and I think if I'd used the color Cava from Merit, they would have been closer in what they look like. But the glow on both sides looks very similar. Although we've now covered all the runners-up and the best drugstore product of 2025 in my estimation, I do want to mention one more product that just might also be a great runner-up product this year. I've seen some great video of it, but unfortunately haven't yet received my products in the mail. But I love the concept and the colors. It's a product extension of 5 new colors from ColourPop's So Juicy Gloss Bomb line. But what makes these 5 new colors standouts is that they have a new pearl finish, which is absolutely stunning. Here's what the colors look like. They can be applied alone or applied over lip liner or other lipsticks. And once again, I love the versatility of this product and can't wait to get my hands on them. Now I'm going to put a little lipstick on and I'll be right back. And I hope this video that I mentioned earlier, which covers many of the new Versed makeup products that I've mentioned, will live up to your expectations. And be sure to drop me a line at boomerandbeyondbeauty@gmail.com if you'd like to get together with me on Zoom for a personalized makeup consultation. They are so much fun, and they've proved to be so wonderfully helpful to so many women, which gives me great joy indeed. Until next time, I wish you good health and happiness, and I hope you have an absolutely fabulous rest of your day. Take care.